Your 20s are the decade that create the foundation for your future. Earlier this year, I decided I wanted to get my shit together. I was tired of repeating old bad habits, feeling like I didn't have control over my life, and not living up to my potential. The 5 ideas in this video are some of the most impactful concepts I've ingrained into my brain, and I'll continue to visit these for the rest of my life. Number 1, everyone is selling you their method. And that's not necessarily with bad intent. They may be trying to help you out, but what they know is what works for them. So they're going to try to push that on you or educate you on what they know best. For me, I can easily educate people on why the gym is so important, but you might not like going to the gym. You might want to exercise in a different way. And if you don't like going to the gym and I tell you you have to go to the gym 6 days a week and you just don't care, you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it. So you need to find out what works best for you. In theory, most plans work. Most business plans can work. Most exercise routines can work. Most meditation habits can work. But the one that works best for you is the one you stick with and that you feel the most called to do. You need to learn to think for yourself and test and validate ideas for yourself. You can listen to general advice like this video, but if you just take someone else's word as gospel and don't actually think about how it might impact you or your own unique circumstance, you're going to be living someone else's life, which means you need to break this down into first principles. What are the core principles or core ideas behind this method or this plan or this exercise routine? Taking fitness as an example, a gym bro like myself would tell you to go to the gym 6 days a week and eat lots of protein. And yes, that will get you jacked, but that is not the only way to exercise. The core principles there are moving almost every single day and eating healthy in a reasonable caloric intake. But if you just look at, oh, I need to exercise 6 days a week and eat a shit ton of protein, and you try to translate that to your unique circumstance and you don't enjoy going to the gym, you're not going to see the progress that you should. So listen to the advice, but then take a step back and think about how it applies to your unique circumstance. Because at the end of the day, what worked for one person might not work for you. Number 2, your new life is going to cost you your old one. Until you're willing to give up your old habits and the person that you were, you're never going to step into your new life. You need to become someone entirely new. You need new habits, new thoughts, and a new environment. If you're hanging around the same people, doing the same bad habits, thinking the same negative thoughts every day, you're never going to change your situation. You need to quite literally kill the old version of yourself to step into the new version of you. And this was a hard one for me to learn because I thought I could continue living my old life, but also become the new version of myself. And that's just simply not how it works. You have to cut off that old version of you to be able to bring this new version to reality. And until you're willing to do that, you're going to keep falling down to the level of the old you, because ultimately every choice is a trade-off. If you choose not to do something, you're saying this is more important than this. If you choose to watch Netflix, that becomes more important than your goals. Even if it's not a choice to do something negative, you're choosing not to work on your goals and saying this is more important. And until you're willing to make that trade-off where you cut off the old version of you, you won't be able to bring up the new, higher version of yourself. Number 3, there are no shortcuts. Whether it's getting in shape, making money, or building meaningful, lasting relationships, there are no shortcuts. All great things in life take more time and effort than you think. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. You have to expand your time horizon. When I first started lifting, I thought I would get jacked and look insane within a year. And while I started to look pretty good, it wasn't the physique I have today. And now I've been lifting for 10 years and I have a better physique than I could have imagined when I first started lifting. And if you go into a new venture with this idea that it's going to take way longer than you think, it's going to require more effort than you think, then your expectations won't be skewed and you'll be willing to put in more work and stick with it for longer when you understand this concept, because progress is slow and boring until it pays off. And I'm relearning this in real time right now as I'm trying to start a business. I thought I would be able to build it much quicker. I thought it'd be a lot easier, and it just simply is not. My expectations were skewed. And luckily I was reminded of this and it kind of rewired my brain again. So I'm like, okay, I need to put in more effort. It's going to take longer than I thought. And that's okay, because most people are not willing to go the extra mile. And if you are, that's when you see the outsized returns. Number 4, just-in-time information over just-in-case information. If you have a lot of different interests or are into self-improvement, it's likely you consume a lot of information and you feel like you're making a lot of progress because you're consuming so much information. But if you're not actually applying this into your life, whether that's your body, your business, your relationships, all that just becomes mental clutter and noise. Up until recently, almost every new venture I tried, whether that was learning how to code, self-improvement, or business, I consumed so much information, but never took action. And while it was cool to know about all these extra concepts, I wasn't able to apply them to anything. So it was kind of just taking up bandwidth in my brain. And it wasn't until I started taking action and realized how little information I actually needed that I was like, oh, maybe I don't need to consume all this information. I can just focus on what I need right now at this step. And then when I need new information, I'll revisit the source at that time. So consume information just in time. When you need to apply it to your business, to your fitness routine, to your relationships, you learn that information and then you apply it. And then when you need new information, you go out and get it and apply it again. You don't consume everything and then feel like you're ready. Number 5, the power of thoughts. Most of the thoughts we have on a daily basis, we've had many times before. They're the same recycled thoughts over and over. And if those thoughts are mostly negative, you're going to see the world in a negative view. But if those thoughts are mostly positive, you're going to see the world in a positive view. So you need to look at the thoughts that you're having every day. If you wake up and the first thing you think about is negative, you're overwhelmed, you're feeling anxious, you need to figure out 1, what is causing that? And 2, how can I change these thoughts to be more positive? Once I started to notice this, I realized how bad the negative thoughts were for me. If I wake up and the first thing I think about is, oh man, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to have a good day, then that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But when I wake up and I'm like, today's going to be a good day and I know I'm going to get shit done, then that happens as well. And this ties in with your identity and how you show up in the world. If you identify as a fit person, you're going to take the actions that fulfill that identity. You're going to eat healthy and you're going to work out. You don't need the motivation to go to the gym or eat healthy. If you identify as a writer, you're going to write every day. You don't need to find the motivation to write just because that's who you are. And you have the power to change this. You can shift your identity to become the person that does X. You just have to start to change your thought patterns to the type of person that does those actions. And to do this, you create a new filter that you see the world through, because your perspective on the world is the lens that you view every event, every opportunity, and every idea that comes into your life. 2 people can have the exact same experience and have 2 completely different outlooks on it. One person could view it as positive, one person could view it as negative. And it's the same exact event. But if this person has a negative point of view on the world and this person has a positive view on the world, they're going to view it as basically 2 separate events. And you have 100% control over that. You just need to start examining your thoughts. Are you having mostly positive thoughts, mostly negative thoughts? Do you view situations as opportunities to grow? Or are they simply a roadblock that you cannot pass? And once you start to see the patterns of thought that you're having, you're able to break them down and be like, okay, this is why I'm thinking this way. This does not serve me anymore. I don't need to think like this. I can reframe this to be more positive. And once you get your brain on your side, your life will start to change like that. If I were to summarize this video into a few sentences that changed my life the most, I would say, number 1, start looking at your thoughts. What thoughts are you having on a daily basis? And what actions does that cause you to take? Number 2, do you think good things are going to come to you easy and are going to be quick? Or do you understand that good things take time and effort? And number 3, what are you doing on a daily basis that is relevant to what your goals are? Are you chipping away on the project every day and consuming information as you need it? Or are you pushing the good habits and the hard projects down the road? And implementing these ideas into my life really has changed things for the better. Instead of being afraid of what's to come or not even thinking about my future because I didn't want to, I'm excited every single day that I get the opportunity to grow and work on myself. And I hope you can start implementing some of these ideas into your own life and see how powerful they are. Now go do something your future self will thank you for. Peace.